Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's episode, I'm going to be talking about Glitch Productions' new announcement that they have released. Oh my god, it is freaking amazing. I love it. Right now, I'm going to take up some things that I was right about in my last video I discussed. Well, I said how Murder Drones episode 3 is coming in mid-February, close to Valentine's Day, which I was right. Murder Drones episode 3 is coming at February 17, 2023. I also discussed on how their new show, FYI The Amazing Digital Circus, was placed in a circus, and honestly, I just love Pomni. Her character design is so cute, and I love her shy and scared personality. Really getting INFP vibes. I personally thought her character design is very unique and low-key kind of like anime. And usually I don't really like anime or clowns, but she is an exception. I don't know why, but I just love her and I just have a good feeling about her. And I'm also really excited about their new show. And I absolutely loved the teaser they showed us about Murder Drones episode 3. And I want to discuss a little bit about it and some theories, like some mini theories. Number 1. Thad's note for Uzi. Well, it wasn't admitted that Thad wrote this letter for Uzi, or who even wrote it, but it has an 80% chance of being Thad, because we all have seen how Uzi and N's handwriting, and it looks nothing like this handwriting, or this note saying, "Will you go to the prom with me?" There are two theories about this note, and if Thad wrote it. The first one isn't really accurate, but after watching this trailer, it makes sense that this first one isn't really going to be happening. The first one is that Thad asks Uzi to go to the prom with her, like this, he sends the invitation to her, and what happens is that Uzi actually accepts Thad's invitation for going prom with him, but Lizzie or Doll, whoever, steals Thad from Uzi. Uzi gets sad, and when she tells this to N asks Uzi to go to the prom with him, and Uzi ends up being N's date for the dance or the prom. This theory, the next theory I'm talking about, gets actually pretty dark and accurate at the same time, and to be honest, I do not want this happening, but it has a high chance of it happening. Another theory is that Thad dies in episode 3. Honestly, if this happens, I'm going to have a mental breakdown. But hear me out. The place looks pretty effed up. There's oil splattered everywhere, chairs all flipped sideways or upside down, and not to mention, why are Doll's robo-roaches here? And the note that says that, "Do you want to go to the prom with me?" That was Thad's note. It was meant for Uzi. And not to mention, that note is like connected to two robotic hands that are like, have oil splattered everywhere, and plus it's like cut off. And we never really got to know what Thad's handwriting looks like. We already know Uzi and N's handwriting. N's handwriting looks very messy. Meanwhile, Uzi's is something in between. I like both of their handwritings, but we never really seen Thad's, so this has a high chance of being Thad's. And if Thad actually does die in episode 3, a lot of bad things will be happening to Uzi. Uzi will go even crazier mentally. She will also suffer a lot through agony and pain, but her plan for saving the world, it got kind of destroyed and cut off. So if Thad actually does die in episode 3, her plan for revenge will go even higher than it already is. So it would make sense if Thad was the one who wrote the note, but I don't know. It's gonna be really depressing, and it will add a lot of drama if this actually happens. Number 2. Why the shindig looks pretty effed up. I mean, don't get me wrong, the shindig looks pretty cool, but it gives me a dark vibe, and I like it. But something that people aren't really talking about is why everything looks like a mess. I mean, where do I even start? The chairs flipped and fell down, oil splattered everywhere, corpses. And not to mention the radio that's like played and like nobody's even there. Well, they were, at least, not anymore. I personally think that the scene they showed us in like the teaser and in their announcement, like the one in episode 3, I personally think that's actually the end of episode 3. I mean, hear me out. I mean, just imagine going to the party and everything's just messed up, broken, destroyed. I mean, that wouldn't make sense if it would be at the beginning of episode 3. So I'm taking that it's like at the end. I'm not also going to talk about why everything's messed up, but also a little bit about Doll. Now, in my last video, I said that Doll was the antagonist for episode 3. But after reading your guys' comments, I realized that maybe I'm wrong. Your guys' comments were really accurate. I especially loved this comment. I know I kept making a big fuss about Doll being the antagonist and everything, but after reading these comments, you guys gave me pretty accurate and reasonable answers about Doll. Shout out to @ESO. I loved reading your theory. I personally feel like it will happen. So, ESO, you said that Doll will help Uzi with her powers and absolute solver magic. V will help N with knowing what's going on with Uzi. If that's actually going to happen, that would be amazing, because Uzi will know how to control her powers. She will also maybe gain a new friend, and V and N's relationship will be a little bit better as friends, but considering the fact that N's relationship looks pretty fucked up with V, like, honestly, like, everything seems to be destroyed in his point of view. Like, at the end, we don't even see them talking or anything, so I think you're right that their relationship is pretty messed up, and how V will actually be the one helping N, as I said in one of my episodes. But I personally love reading this because, like, maybe you're right. Maybe Doll will actually help Uzi with her powers. But another part of me feels like that the reason why Doll is with Lizzie and with the worker drones is because she wants to gain trust out of them. So if she actually does do killing or anything, she will blame it on someone else from her mistakes. And not to mention why her robo-roaches are at the prom, but I don't know, like, both seem accurate, but yours seems even more accurate if I want to say the truth and everything. So I personally think that Doll won't be the antagonist for episode 3, but there is a lot of signs that she could. Now let's talk about why the place looks pretty messed up. Well, I personally think that Uzi and N were fighting someone at the prom. That explains why N was shooting a missile when dancing with Uzi. And why Uzi seems to be throwing a knife. Which all of that happened, and after their big fight, everyone left the prom and everything was destroyed. That's why we see everything destroyed at the prom. And I feel like it's not Doll who might be like the antagonist. It might have to do something like with the robo-roaches or absolute solver. Because, like, considering the fact that they're in the prom, it just, like, messes everything up. Especially since how the robo-roaches entered Doll's dead parents' body from her mouth. So it might even be the robo-roaches that, like, messed everything up. But I don't know. It goes all ways when you think about it. Well, that's about it. We don't really know who Uzi and N are fighting. It would be good to know, but, like, I am really excited for episode 3. And honestly, I was like jumping up and down a few days ago. But honestly, I loved Glitch Productions' announcement. I loved how they include how much each episode's cost. I loved how they included their new teaser about like their new show, The Amazing Digital Circus. I loved everything about it. I loved how they wanted to change the animation and like the industry of it. I love everything actually. There was no problems I had, except some things just got confusing for me because like everyone had different ideas about like their theories, and so did I. So it kind of got mixed up, but it all made sense. Like for me, like at the end, reading your guys' theories, it was amazing. I loved every single one of them. And honestly, I'm sorry if this video is like pretty long, but I hope you enjoyed it. And bye.